That door is for members only. I was not the malicious compliance engineer, rather just a participant. So, a while back, I worked for a country club, and occasionally we would have a tournament game where people would come play a few holes at night. We also had other activates as well. Not only was it fun, but due to the abnormal hours, the tips were usually above average, so I tried to work these events when they came up. Another plus side was if you worked this party, you automatically got to come in later and were not scheduled for the morning shift. This time when the tournament party rolls around, we have some renovations going on. Due to this party being outside, we have to carry the things we need outside. However, no one thought of this, and the double bay doors we normally use were no longer available. They put pallets of concrete and old tile in front of them. Was not a fire escape door, so no biggie, I guess. Due to this, now we had to carry whatever we needed down the hall, use the elevator, and then go down a makeshift ramp that led to the basement so we could go out the golf cart bay doors. This not only disrupted the kitchen staff but also disrupted the cart jockeys. If we were almost at the end of the tunnel leading outside, a cart jockey was trying to bring in a cart, he had to wait, and vice versa for us, and the same thing went when we used the kitchen, elevator and walkway. We started getting ready for the party around 6 o'clock. We would take the needed items over to the shelter and store them there until it was closer to start time. It took a lot of time due to complexity of rolling huge tables around the entire country club, especially the elevator. Some of our tables were so big we had to shove the light fixtures up a little bit to get them to fit. Around 9 o'clock we were getting the last of the supplies when my coworker Steve has the bright idea. Hey, it's been dark for about 45 minutes. Let's go out the front door, and since it is on the same level as our storage, we have no elevator or small hallways to worry about. Well, we take one load out, load it in the cart, take the second load out, load it in the cart. No problem. Right as we were loading the third and final load, our banquet planning captain comes rushing over. No, 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 that door is for members only. You cannot use it to load that stuff. Sorry, we figured that since no one had been golfing in the past hour, it was fine. Well, it is not okay, and if I see anyone use this door for anything else, you will face disciplinary actions. You cannot use this door unless you are a member. Well, shit. We both proceeded to take the rest of the load out the more difficult way and then carry it all the way around back to where our cart was waiting with the other two loads. We drive off the event and start getting set up as it will begin soon. What we discovered later on is that no one told the last cart yoki that none of us had a key to, one, unlock the door, or two, to lock it when we leave. So naturally we tried all the usual doors we can enter in. Even the one from the break room for smokers to use. Nada. Steven says hold on, I'll be back. Runs to the front, and lo and behold, one of the doors to the front was unlocked. Too bad it is for members only and none of us are members. The five of us decide it's worth the extra time to be petty. So Steven calls the banquet coordinator, our boss, and lets her know. After much discussion, she realizes we can't leave it at the shelter as it will most likely ruin our chairs and some of the wooden tables as well as the decorations we have, and she has to come in. By the time that we are finished, it is almost 4:30. It was a lot faster with no kitchen personnel or cart jockeys, but still took a while, especially with the added time it took her to get there. Well, guess who showed up at 4:30? Our general manager. He used the front door that we found was unlocked. He saw our boss and asked why she was here so early. which she replied we were locked out so she had to come let us in. Then he asked her why we didn't just use the front doors since they were wide enough and unlockable from the inside, unlike the cart doors. This brought a hellstorm of rage upon the 5 of us. She came speed walking in her heels looking like she wanted to turn us to stone like Medusa. 5 of y'all and none of y'all tried the ducking front door? Really? Why the hell did no one check the bloody front doors before calling me? Quote. At this point, I was like, "Aw shit. Outta nowhere here comes Steven with, you said we couldn't use that door or we would face disciplinary actions. If looks could kill, Steven would be dead." She glared at him. Then her eyes glazed over. She turned around and went to go get ready for her shift. There was never another word about it, but we all laughed about it for a few weeks. By the next time we had an event outside, the construction restorations were complete, so we just used our normal doors to go out. The property is on a big slope and dug out. So what is the first floor on one side is the basement on the other. I got malicious compliance typing this on my phone, so please excuse any grammatical errors. Many years ago I was in the U.S. Marine Reserves. We used to do field training 3 to 4 times a year at Army National Guard base here in my state. When we did that, an advance party would got up the day before to get everything set up so that when the unit arrived, they could roll into training and not waste time setting up. This particular time I was the NCO in charge. We spent the day working, getting barracks set up and getting the training ranges ready. That evening I took everyone to the E-Club for evening chow dinner for you civilians. Afterwards a couple of the Marines asked, since we were pretty much done for the day, can they have a couple of beers from the E-Club bar? I was okay, but only 2 beers. No more. I didn't want a bunch of drunk, hungover Marines the next morning. I step outside to make a call back home to my girlfriend. Come back in 10 minutes later and saw their compliance. Each had ordered 2 of the Foster oil can beers. A normal-sized can or bottle is 12 ounces. The Foster's oil cans were 24 ounces. They were like, SGT Margrunt. You said only 2 beers. Never anything about what size. Everyone was laughing, including me. Just fucking leave? Well, alrighty then. So my ex-wife used to pull the bullshit move of getting out of the car and walking whenever there was an argument, knowing my stupid ass would follow her and try to convince her to get back in so we could go home. One night she started an argument accusing me of flirting with the waitress, who was the mother of one of my high school friends. Definitely wasn't on my radar of women to flirt with, and I let her know that in no uncertain terms. As usual, she jumped out of the car and starts walking. So here I go, driving next to her, window down trying to coax her back in the car. Now on this particular evening, it was raining and cold, and I had really just had enough of this stupid habit of hers. So I asked her twice to get in, and I told her I'd leave if she didn't. She said, just ducking leave. Go home. Quote. So I did. Went home, cracked open a cold Pepsi, grabbed my new book, plopped my ass down in the recliner and started reading. 30 minutes later she flings the door open, looking like a drowned rat and extremely pissed. She starts yelling, "Where did you go? Why didn't you come back for me?" Quote. I calmly said, "Well, you told me to leave and go home. I just figured you needed some time to cool off." Quote. Funny, you know, she never got out of the car again for some reason, thinking face, thinking face, thinking face.